You thought it was love. You thought it was sisterhood. You thought it was loyalty. But behind the smiles was competition. They celebrated your wins, but only when they felt ahead. They encouraged your goals, but only when theirs weren't threatened. They clapped, but the applause never reached their eyes. And you tried to ignore it, tried to believe they meant well, tried to explain away the subtle digs, the missed milestones, the constant comparisons. But here's the truth. You're finally ready to say out loud. It wasn't friendship. It was a silent rivalry dressed up as connection. Comment, I saw it, now I believe it. If this is hitting something you've kept buried, it's the friend who copied everything but never gave you credit. The one who never showed up for your big day, but expected your full support. The one who never asked how you were, just watched to see if they were doing better. And it hurt, because they weren't just a friend. They were your person, the one you shared secrets with, laughed with, prayed with. You saw them as family, but they saw you as a threat. That realization, it's devastating. You replay the conversations now, the subtle shade, the way they changed when you started glowing, the way they grew distant the moment you finally stepped into your purpose. Jealousy in friendships is real, especially when one person grows and the other stays stagnant. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your growth held up a mirror to their stagnancy. You became the reflection of everything they weren't ready to face. And instead of being inspired, they became resentful. Like this if you've outgrown a friendship that turned competitive. Subscribe to Persistent Elevation if you're choosing peace over performance, clarity over closeness. It's not your job to dim your light just so they feel better. It's not your role to shrink your wins to protect someone else's ego. And you were never meant to stay small to keep them comfortable. You didn't lose a real friend. You lost a position holder. A proximity placeholder. Someone who liked the old you better because it made them feel bigger. But this version of you, the healed, bold, stepping into your calling version of you, she doesn't need to explain why she outgrew that friendship. She doesn't owe softness to silence or loyalty to envy. Not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. Not everyone who holds your hand will clap when you rise. You're allowed to outgrow what doesn't feel safe. You're allowed to create distance without guilt. You're allowed to say, this no longer feeds me. And when you let that kind of connection go, you make room for people who don't compete. They celebrate, who don't compare. They encourage, who don't secretly hope you fall. They pray you fly. You thought it was love, but it was survival. It was insecurity. It was performance. And now, it's peace. Because when you let go of friendships built on quiet envy, you make space for alignment to enter. The best part? Your new tribe won't be intimidated by your power. They'll be drawn to it